Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Groovy podcast. We are back for another video. We've got a couple of things to talk about. The ODI and the T20 squad are in for Australia. Two separate squads. We're also going to talk about the first round of the Sheffield Shield, which started mainly last Saturday. Yesterday slash what's today? Tuesday was the last day. So the Sheffield Shield is the red ball domestic cricket tournament that goes for 4 days, 5 days if it's the final. Some interesting results, some interesting pitches from the first round, but we'll get into that later. We're going to go into the T20 international squad. Now, this is just for the first 2 games. So the reason is the third game, we don't know what will happen if they want to send players back to the Sheffield Shield. So we don't know, but the first 2 games are here. Mitch Marsh will captain the squad. Mitch Marsh has actually been in very good form with the white ball cricket. Very good series in New Zealand. Basically, I've came on this channel heaps of times and trashed Mitch Marsh. He might stink in red ball cricket, but white ball cricket, he's actually very, very good. Can we get that? Can we get that stopped? We can't get that stopped. All right, we'll just read it. All right, so Mitch Marsh will captain the team. Sean Abbott, we know about Sean Abbott, medium fast seam bowler. Xavier Bartlett, same thing, medium fast. Tim David, power hitter. Ben Dorfus, medium pace, seam-friendly bowler. Nathan Ellis, another seam-friendly pacer. Josh Hazlewood, line and length, medium pacer. I shouldn't say that. I should say fast medium. He can bowl 140. Hasn't for the last couple of years because of injury. Travis Head, the enforcer. Josh Inglis will be keeping. Matt Kuhneman is a spinner. Did really well in Sri Lanka in February in the test series. Mitch Owen, power hitter, fantastic form. In the Big Bash, made that 100 in the final. Didn't have the best New Zealand series. Matthew Short, power hitter, a load of runs for the strikers. Marcus Stoinis, the all-rounder. Adam Zampat, the leg spinner. So that is the T20 squad. The reason there is no Cummins, Smith and Maxwell, 2 of them have retired, and Cummins is still injured. He's still in doubt for the Ashes first test. So there hasn't actually been an update around him. It's been pretty quiet regarding Pat Cummins. The news is it's what has been for the last 2 months. His back is still sore. If he plays, he could get a back spasm. A stress fracture. Stress fracture means 6 months. So the doctors have told Cummins not to bowl for the time being. Otherwise, you are going to get a stress fracture and you're going to miss 6 months. So he's been suffering with back spasms. That has still unchanged. So that is the reason why he is not part of this ODI/T20 squad. Now, speaking of the ODI squad, we're going to bring that up for a second. Because it is completely different. Right, here we go. So the ODI squad, again, Mitchell Marsh will captain the squad. They seem very comfortable with Mitch Marsh captaining the squad. Xavier Bartlett, we mentioned him. Alex Carey will be keeping. Cooper Connolly, all-rounder / spinner. Ben Dorfus, Nathan Ellis, Cameron Green. That's a bit of an interesting one there. He is bowling. He is back bowling in the Sheffield Shield. He bowled a couple of overs yesterday in the Sheffield Shield. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Josh Hazlewood, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Mitch Owen. Matthew Renshaw is a new addition. That's very surprising for me. He just came off 100 in the Shield. Matthew Short. Mitchell Stark loves the white ball cricket. He loves red ball cricket even more. He made a press conference saying he wants to focus on red ball cricket. He's recently retired from T20s, Mitchell Stark. And Adam Zampa. Now, the big one here that is not playing, obviously we covered Cummins, was Marnus Labuschagne. Dropped for a reason. He's been in terrific form with white ball cricket domestically. He's made 300s in the space of 2 months with the white ball, one being a T20 match, two being a Marsh Cup, which is the white ball 50 domestic tournament in Australia. He has been dropped because they want him to find runs in the Sheffield Shield, which is the red ball competition. They said that that's his main priority. If he wants to get back into the test squad, he needs to play as much Sheffield Shield games as he can. That is why Marnus Labuschagne has been dropped. Go back, find some form in the Sheffield Shield, which he did today. He scored 170 runs. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, no white ball cricket. He needs to focus on red ball cricket, which is test matches. So Matthew Renshaw will take his place. Strange decision, very strange decision for me. A lot of players out there that probably could have deserved that, but they've gone with Matthew Renshaw, who also, like I said, recently hit 100 in the Shield game. So yeah, that's basically the two squads right there. I do want to talk about the Sheffield Shield before we go. The first round is just completed. So we had 3 games. We had WA versus New South Wales. We had South Australia versus Victoria at the Adelaide Oval. The WA New South Wales game was at the Wacker. And Queensland versus Tasmania at Allan Border Field. And I'm going to just go on this a little bit. I'm going to go a bit of a rant here. That pitch in Queensland was a disgrace. This is the first match of the domestic tournament, and you make an absolute road. 1,300 runs were scored across 4 days, and it resulted in a draw. That is an absolute disgrace. I know what Queensland cricket were doing, because you're responsible, because it's your pitch. They were trying to stat pad Marnus Labuschagne, Usman Khawaja, and there was no chance that Cricket Queensland wanted a result. They just wanted to stat pad Marnus Labuschagne and Khawaja. Congratulations, it worked. Marnus Labuschagne made 161. Khawaja didn't do as well. I think he made 60, 62, 63. But that was an absolute disgrace by Queensland in doctoring their pitches. That is not what we want to see in the Sheffield Shield. The WA New South Wales, that was a green top. A lot of wickets fell. The Adelaide match, the Redbacks versus Victoria, I actually went to that game. I went to all 4 days of that match at Adelaide Oval. Today was the last day. That was a fair pitch. Not Queensland cricket. We're going to doctor pitches and make them out as a Pakistan highway. Well, it wasn't even a road, it was a highway. And that is disgraceful. Just because you can get Marnus Labuschagne in form and Khawaja in form, you have no right in doing that. Absolute pathetic. I feel very bad for Tasmania because they went there trying to get a result, and the curator said, "No, we're not going to do that." So please lift your game, Queensland cricket, and don't be idiots. And make it fair for everybody. You have every right to doctor pitches. You have every right. Just like India when they make minefields for Australia, which I hate because they don't do it for anyone else. They have every right to. That's fine. But if you make those pitches, be prepared to get criticised. 1,300 runs over 4 days. Not 5 days, 4 days. Was an absolute disgrace. So we'll move on from that. WA versus New South Wales. Nathan Lyon was back for New South Wales. Cameron Green was back for WA. Cameron Green was actually bowling in this game. Flat pitches are not a bad thing to give confidence to batsmen. The problem is, well, hang on, where's that comment? Bring that back up. Problem is, Kamal, when the problem is, Kamal, is when Labuschagne goes outside of Queensland and he gets a green top and gets rolled. That does him no good whatsoever. And I'm presuming other states will do that to stop him from scoring runs. Again, I have no problem with that. I would rather see Labuschagne score 50 on a green top than score 160 on a road. I think there's more value for a batsman scoring 50 or 60 on an absolute green seaming friendly monster than 150 on a road. That does nothing for anybody. Yeah, it gives his confidence back. But, next week, who are they playing next week? I think New South Wales, probably on a green top if he gets rolled. It's really not a good look. Kamal, not a good look for your first domestic match. Not a good look for your first domestic match of the season. You stat Pat Karajan and Labuschagne. That's not a good look. South Australia lost today. You are sad today. I am very sad today. We'll stick with the New South Wales WA game. This was a green top, as I said. The highest score. No one reached 300. No one hit a century. This was just a green top. New South Wales looked in big trouble. They made 200 plus in their second innings, and they bowled really well in their run chase. Nathan Lyon picked up a couple of wickets, so he was back bowling. Cameron Green, as I mentioned, did bowl. Didn't score many runs, Cameron Green, but he was playing. Sam Constas again did not make any runs whatsoever. Curtis Patterson, who's a little bit of a smoky for the batting position at number 3, made no runs whatsoever. Very tough pitch, and New South Wales managed to win this game. And the last game at Adelaide Oval, the game I went to for the last 4 days, South Australia versus Victoria. And sadly, my Redbacks, they're called the Redbacks, they lost to Victoria. Victoria chased down 220, I believe. I don't know exactly, it was around 220, 230. Hang on, let me remove that. They chased around 220, 230, 6 down. Ollie Peake was the star of the show in the second innings. He made an unbeaten 70 not out. Fergus O'Neill, who I like, or who I said he should be picked for when Stark Hazelwood retire. I have O'Neill straight in my team. He didn't pick up a wicket in either innings, but what he did, he scored over 100 runs in this game, which really hurt South Australia. Because he made 33 not out in the run chase, and he also made 50 in the first innings. So I tweeted out, O'Neill could really hurt us in this game. I didn't actually mean his batting, I meant his bowling. If you said to me, Fergus O'Neill takes 0 wickets, I would absolutely love that if he scores 100 runs. Scott Boland was back. Scott Boland was actually playing in this game as well. Again, didn't do too well. Wasn't that good. Picked up 2 wickets in the first innings and 1 in the second innings. So he only had 3 wickets for the game. Nathan McSweeney, I really feel bad for Nathan McSweeney. He looked awful. Absolutely dreadful, Nathan McSweeney. A 21-ball duck in the first innings. He is absolutely gone. I don't know what Cricket Australia have done to this man. He should never have played in the Ashes, McSweeney. He should have never opened in the Ashes, and he just can't buy a run. A 21-ball duck. I feel really bad. The second innings, he was slightly better. He made 4. That's slightly better than a 21-ball duck. But his confidence is completely shot. McSweeney, I don't know what is wrong. The Ashes, they've just killed his confidence. I really feel for him. I don't think he'll ever play for Australia ever again. Nathan McSweeney. He was. He recently scored again. He did in the India A match. So did Sam Constas. Sam Constas actually hit 100. Jake Retherald. Did well in that tour game as well. So McSweeney actually did score some runs. I think he made a 60, 70 odd. But his Sheffield Shield form post the Ashes has been horrible. He can't even get past 20 for crying out loud. And that's not just red ball. That's white ball. He's never really a good white ball player anyway. So probably I'll excuse him for that, but he can't even get past 20. It's that bad for McSweeney. But it is the first game. Next week, who do we play? I think WA in WA, where it's probably going to be a green top there, so I don't like his chances. So, yeah, I feel very bad for McSweeney, and the Redbacks lost this game. Adelaide Oval was pretty angry at the end because we don't. Their spinner Roran, a Victoria spinner, Todd Murphy is not even playing for Victoria. They have found a good spinner in Rowan though. He picked up 5 wickets in the second innings for Victoria when they were bowling to South Australia. He picked up a fifer. It's very hard to do as a domestic spinner in Australia. You don't see that often on Australian pitches. But he picked up a fifer, so he might be one to watch. We've got a question here from Yash, and then we'll wrap up the show. Shaman Gill as captain in ODIs. Also, do you think it is the best decision taken by selectors considering 27 CWC and future in mind? Yeah, look, I actually like when you have different captains for different formats. Mitch Marsh, we'll get rid of this. Actually, no, we'll keep it up there until I answer the question. Mitch Marsh is captain of the T20 team. Pat Cummins is captain of the Test team. The ODI team, technically it's Cummins, but I think Marsh will take over that now. I really like different captains for different formats. India have gone in a different direction. They have made him ODI captain, Test captain. I think Sky is the T20 captain. Sometimes it can be too much, captaining both formats. Steve Smith did that really well, to be fair. So it can help, but sometimes it can be a little bit daunting. Captaining two formats can be very stressful, especially if you start losing. When you're winning and winning trophies, it's all unicorns and rainbows. But when you start losing, doubt can go in your mind, and then you probably think maybe I shouldn't be captain. You step down, and sometimes your form does go both in red ball and white ball. And Gill's a tremendous player. Missed out in runs against West Indies. That's a really rare thing to say. Missed out on his 100. Only made a half century. So sometimes it can be a really good thing. Ricky Ponting was probably one of the best at it. Virat Kohli, also tremendous white ball captain Virat Kohli, and Ricky Ponting with a great record, especially batting. My God, especially Virat. So sometimes it can be a good thing, Yash. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. But anyway, thank you for the questions. This has been. This was supposed to be a 5-minute thing. I've turned it into a 20-minute show. I've turned it into a 20-minute show. Interesting. Anyway, this is the end. I don't want to go into a half an hour. This is the end. Make sure to like and subscribe. You don't have to follow us. You just click subscribe. That's it. That's it. Don't have to ever watch us again. Just click subscribe. That's it. Help us out. Oh, we've got one more question. One more question from Kamal. Matt Renshaw or Jake Redival, who is better? But Jake, that's not even close. That's Jake Redival. They're my good mate. Now see this here, Adelaide Uni. I played cricket with Jake at Adelaide Uni. So there's a little bit of bias with that one. I always love seeing Jake, actually. Jake's a really good person. Didn't look like a test batsman when I got him in the net. I got him out a few times. This was a few years ago before I came fat. Didn't look like a test batsman then. But no, Renshaw's not even close. He made 100 in the Shield game yesterday, but he's still far. He's miles off. Absolute miles off Renshaw. So, yeah, Weatherall for sure. I think they might go Renshaw. I would go with Renshaw and Constas personally. But they'll go with a Khawaja or a Qantas / Redwall. Well, they might even go with Labuschagne if they keep doctoring pitches for him in Queensland. But anyway, Henry Hunt is Henry Hunt. I'm glad this was brought up. Henry Hunt. I've met a lot of South Australian players because I used to play cricket with them. I didn't play state cricket, but I played Prem cricket, which is the tier below state. So everyone starts there and they work their way up. I never actually got to play with Henry Hunt. I got to play with Jake Lehman. Jake Retherwell was a teammate of mine. So I got to play with a few players. Henry Hunt's a very good technician, very good stroke maker. Problem is he's inconsistent. You can't trust him. Last year, I think he made 400s. You think, wow, that's pretty good. He made 4 ducks, which is bad. So that's his only problem is consistency. You will never get picked for Australia if you score 400s and 4 ducks. That's never going to get you in. You have to do a little bit better than that. Not so much with the hundreds, but with the ducks. Turn those ducks into a 20 or 30. Be a little bit more consistent. That's his biggest flaw, Henry Hunt's batting. But he's very good a very good technician, very good stroke maker, very good shot creator, good play against spin as well. But inconsistently, yeah, he's a bit of a train wreck. He's either hot or cold. This game again, hot and cold in the innings he batted. He made a beautiful 100 in the first innings, and then only a 30 in the second innings. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, mind you, that's better than a duck. And I just said turn those ducks into 30s and 40s. But you know, there was 2 different innings by Henry Hunt in this game. And unfortunately, we could have used that 100 in the second innings, or 60 or 70. We might have won the game. But no, he just needs to improve on that. He was close a couple of years ago. He was around the mix and got in the conversation. But yeah, he's miles off that. He needs to fix up his consistency. But anyway, that has been the show. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is supposed to be a 5-minute show. We're now 22 minutes in. My name is Coach Lucas. Stay tuned. West Indies and India Test 1's coming. Pakistan and South Africa Test 1 is coming. Stay tuned for those videos and goodbye for now.